And now the big one, the closing act of the Argentinian Torneo Apertura. It's the final day of the season and league leaders Independiente travel to San Lorenzo with the destiny of the title in their own hands. Should be a hell of a game. So let's hear from Max Bretos and Christian Bozzo. Good evening and welcome to another night of sporting splendours from Sport on 5. My name is Sophie Blake and on tonight's menu some very tasty dishes indeed. So Steve Redgrave's Pro Celebrity Golf tees off the proceedings, followed by the Chicago Bears at the Miami Dolphins in the NFL Game of the Week, plus drag racing and Feyenoord in action in a game from the Dutch Eredivisie. And tomorrow night it's ice hockey from the USA with Nick Collin and Russell Chamberlain, and the Chicago Blackhawks at the New York Rangers from Madison Square Garden. That's followed by a dramatic Ironman triathlon from Austria, the European Wakeboard Championships, and for Speed Freaks, the latest fast tracks. Thursday night is football night with a roundup of the week's action in Europe. That's followed by a rerun of the big game of the night, Leeds UEFA Cup third round second leg against Malaga. Then it's Ajax versus De Graafschap from the Dutch League and a 5-footy classic with Liverpool in action against Slovan Liberec from 2 years ago. All rounded off with world-class boxing and the fight of the week from the USA. And just before we go to the golf, a quick preview of a new series on Sport on 5, world-class boxing and the fight of the week. And next Monday night, it's Verno Phillips versus Jose Chapata Flores. Phillips, the former World Junior Middleweight Champion, and Flores, the #1 contender. Should be a cracker. But back to tonight, and right now we're off to sunny Spain and the La Manga Golf Club versus Steve Redgrave's Golden 5 Golf. More golf on Sunday night with the last in our series from the Challenge Golf Tour. Look out for that one. I'll be back later with the European Drag Racing Championships, but right now it's time to cross over to Mark Webster and Mike Carlson for the NFL Game of the Week. Welcome to Sport on 5. I'm Sophie Blake and I'll be your guide through nearly 6 hours of top-class football action. Later on there's the Game of the Week from Holland with De Graafschap versus Ajax, followed by a 5-football classic with Slovan Liberec versus Liverpool from the UEFA Cup competition of 2000. Just before we catch another chance to see Leeds in action in tonight's UEFA Cup third round, a quick preview of a couple of Fight Fests coming up next Monday.
The stage is set, the performers are ready. The show is all about blood, sweat, guts and glory. Now is the time, Night of Combat, the best of kickboxing action from around the globe, bringing you the best fighters with the most powerful punches and amazing knockouts from the world of Thai and kickboxing. Now is the time, Night of Combat, every Monday night only on Channel 5.
That's coming up next Monday, 24 hours earlier on Sunday. It's NFL Live with Mark Webster and Mike Carlson and the big game between the Arizona Cardinals and the St. Louis Rams. Don't miss that one. But back to tonight and tonight's big game on 5 with Leeds United facing Malaga in the third round second leg of the UEFA Cup. Later on tonight, another chance to see a 5-football classic with Liverpool in sparkling form in the 2000 edition of the UEFA Cup and a tough encounter with Slovan Liberec. But before that, the Game of the Week from Holland's Eredivisie with champions Ajax up against De Graafschap. Your guide, as ever, Tim Capel. and Mike for another update. My name is Sophie Blake and I'll be with you from now until 6 this morning with a feast of kickboxing, boxing plus motorsport and football from the USA. A brief reminder that the boys will be back tomorrow night with the NFL Game of the Week, the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans, and just 3 weeks to go to the playoffs. FIM Supercross from Switzerland follows and we wind up with Motorsport Mondial. On Wednesday is Ice Hockey Night with Nick and Russ and the Ottawa Senators at the New York Rangers. That's followed by Ironman Triathlon and Northern Exposure, plus fast tracks. On Thursday it's Football Night with Mark Webster, Dutch football and a huge game between Ajax going well in the Champions League and PSV. And then 2 minor classics from the CIS Cup with Rangers tied against Hibs and Dunfermline. Coming up in an hour's time, world-class boxing looks something like this. Former middleweight world champion Phillips against Flores, the main bout and a world title eliminator. But without further ado, now is the time a night of combat brings you the best in kickboxing and a top-class bill with the best of Europe facing the cream of Thailand.
Now is the time, Night of Combat, in association with ThaiBoxingWorld.com.
Good evening and welcome to another night of football from Sport on 5. My name is Sophie Blake and on tonight's programme a huge game from the Dutch Eredivisie plus 2 minor classics from this season's CIS Cup featuring the in-form Rangers. Before all that, a brief preview of the Christmas holiday with Sport on 5. And I'll run through the lot for you because over the holiday period it turns into the NFL show. On Sunday the 22nd of December there's a recap of the Challenge Tour golf season, followed by the big NFL game with the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Monday the 23rd and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then it's Christmas just in case you've forgotten, and then the NFL is back again. On Sunday the 29th, the Buccaneers from sunny Tampa Bay travel to the frozen Soldier Field in Chicago to take on the Bears. Lucky them. On Monday the 30th, the San Francisco 49ers are in St. Louis to play the Rams. And on Sunday the 5th of January, it gets serious with one of the wildcard games as the playoffs on the road to the Super Bowl begin. As ever, Mark Webster and Mike Carlson will be your hosts throughout. Normal service will be resumed when I return, of course, and that date, oh lucky viewers, will be the 6th of January 2003, when I'll be back with kickboxing, supercross and much, much more. But now it's back to the football and a huge game in the race for the Dutch Eredivisie title. Commentary from Tim Capel.
Hello.
Good evening and welcome to another night of football from Sport on 5. My name is Sophie Blake and on tonight's programme the game of the week from the Dutch Eredivisie plus a minor classic from Chelsea's great run in the UEFA Cup in '97. Just a quick look ahead to Sunday and Monday before we crack on. On Sunday, Mark Webster and Mike Carlson will be here for a roundup of the NFL divisional playoffs plus the game of the night. All paths leading to Super Bowl 37, of course, which will be live on 5 on Sunday, January the 26th. All the action plus the halftime show live and direct from San Diego. Don't miss it. And if you can't wait that long, there's plenty more violent sporting action available on Monday night.
The stage is set, the performers are ready. The show is all about blood, sweat, guts and glory. Now is the time, Night of Combat, the best of kickboxing action from around the globe, bringing you the best fighters with the most powerful punches and amazing knockouts from the world of Thai and kickboxing. Now is the time, Night of Combat, every Monday night only on Channel 5.
Kickboxing every Monday night here on 5. But now it's back to football and time for the game of the week from the Dutch Eredivisie. It's Feyenoord versus AZ Alkmaar from the De Kuip Stadium in Rotterdam with Tim Cable. Welcome to another night of sporting splendour with Monday night's edition of Sports on 5. My name is Sophie Blake and I'll be with you from now until 6 this morning with a feast of kickboxing, boxing, plus the FIM Supercross and football from Holland. Just before we tuck into tonight's fare, a quick look ahead to the rest of the week. Tomorrow night there's world-class boxing with the fight of the week from the USA. That's followed by NHL update with a complete roundup of the ice hockey action of the week, followed by NHL replay. Wednesday, and there's more from Nick Calling and Russell Chamberlain and the NHL game between the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals. That's followed by more NHL action and replay, and finally half an hour of power sport madness in fast tracks. Thursday night is football night, kicking off with Jonathan Pearce. That's followed by 5 hours of action, starting with the game of the week from Holland and Utrecht versus PSV. Then we're off to Argentina for the Torneo de Verano at Independiente versus Racing Club. There's the 5 football replay and River Plate versus Boca Juniors, and lastly, and by no means least, it's Motorsport Mondial. Back to tonight, and without further ado, now is the time a Night of Combat brings you the best in kickboxing and a top-class bill with the best of Europe in action.
Now is the time, Night of Combat, in association with Asian Express, Britain's #1 Asian newspaper.
Good evening and welcome to another night of football from Sport on 5. Thanks to Jonathan and his guests. My name is Sophie Blake, and on tonight's programme, action from the Dutch Eredivisie plus 2 games from Argentina and Motorsport Mondial. And now the game of the week from the Dutch Eredivisie, and it looks like a 2-horse race with Ajax and PSV neck and neck and clear of the rest. PSV are our star turn tonight with their game at Utrecht. We're off to Argentina next, and the first game in our new series from the Torneo de Verano, a series of knockout games played in the provincial cities of the country. First up, the resort town of Mar del Plata and league champions Independiente versus Racing Club. Commentary from Tony Jones.